Finally, thank God, here we go. After months and months, I finally have right here in this bag, in my possession, the Omega Gideon Shadow pistol, otherwise known as Hk UMP. So if you guys see my other videos in this series, you know that I'm doing a dream gun build, which is an Hk UMP. Two ways. One, it used to only be converting a USC, which I talked about in my other video. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it above. The second way, now the most preferred way, is you either get a parts kit, a German parts kit, which have gone up in price, mind you, because of pure excitement that this receiver has brought to the gun industry. So without any further ado, let's unbox it like we do here on Gunbox Therapy and show you why this is the way you need to go if you want an Hk UMP clone. Sweet music. In the case, as it comes, Velcroed in, wrapped up nice and pretty in a sealed bag. Never seen that before. Never seen any company ship a gun in a sealed bag. So, let's just throw all this aside because the case is just like any other case. And here it is. This, as you know, is a dream gun of mine. You know me as an MP5 guy, but the UMP is just that iconic firearm in history. Even if you're not into video games, even if you're not into the firearms industry itself, somebody will recognize this and say they've seen this before because it's been all over pop culture. Any action movie, you'll see HK firearms, MP5s, UMPs, you'll see them. So this is something that I needed to have in my collection. And finally, with Omega releasing their receiver, their upper receiver, you can now get one of these at a much more affordable price. Now check this out. First, let's put the mag in, just because it gives you the whole look, the whole thing. We are clear. Mag is empty. Chamber is empty. Guys, you look at this and you say this isn't sweet. I'll tell you, I don't know why you're watching this channel. This, my friends, is awesome. Omega Gideon Shadow receiver. Plain receiver you can get from them. They also make the rail set, top rail, and rail sets for the forend. Now you'll notice that on mine, I don't have one on this side. I bought the complete rail set, but what I did was I took it off this side because of the charging handle. You will catch your finger on that rail as you try to cock it. So I just took it off and left the one on this side for any accessories, lights, and anything like that. Also, the bottom one, you may notice, it's a little worn. That is because in my German parts kit, came with the rail, came with the bolt, the lower, it came with German mag, with a cut receiver, which obviously is inoperable, demilled. So what I wanted to do is keep this as true to German as I could, obviously having to go the route of a American-made receiver by Omega. About Omega, they will do all the gunsmithing for you. You can send it to them, and they will do all the modifications necessary to make this a legal, semi-automatic pistol or rifle, depending on the route you're going. They did all the work, assembled it, sent it back to me in the form you've seen now, with the SP Tactical brace on. An option that you don't have to get, but again, it has that UMP-esque look. So no, it's not a true length size UMP stock, but the perfect thing about this setup is with their receiver, the pin here that would normally be a alligator pin, really tight, really firm pin that you have to bang out to remove the stock if you wanted to. They've upgraded this section here to accept a screw. So just with an Allen key, they've manufactured it to where it just goes through like a clip would or a roll pin would, and just screw right in the bottom. So should you SBR this and want to put an actual stock on, all you got to do, loosen it up, take it out. This pops right off. The UMP stock attaches the same way this attaches, the same way a UMP, a real UMP would attach, and you just screw it right back down in, tighten it up, and you're good to go. So one of the coolest features about this is being able to hit all three positions, but it is still unable to fire full auto. All the guts, all the auto sears, everything is out of this receiver. It is unable to fire full auto. The receiver actually is only able to fire in semi-auto without them making permanent modifications to the receiver, even if I had an operational full auto lower. Even for pictures, you're big into Instagram, that's a cool look to be able to put this thing on whatever position you want just for pictures. So nice touch for sure. I'm not going to go over all of the features of the UMP. I'm going to do a follow-up video to this one at the range, shooting it and going through all of that. But if you know anything about the gun, just generally, this was supposed to be the next generation, if you will, of the MP5, upgraded version of the MP5, whereas this, it was adopted but not fully adopted to the point where the MP5 is still really in service in a lot of places, and the UMP is used, but not to the degree that the MP5 is still used. You know, they made it lighter using, you know, a lot of polymer in the receivers, whereas MP5 is mostly metal. They've done a lot of things to make upgrades, which are nice upgrades to the MP5, such as a bolt release, bolt release button on the side. Here, MP5 does not have a last round bolt hold open. One of the main drawbacks, I think, of this gun, though, is the fact that it is pure blowback, whereas the standard MP5 line is roller delay blowback. So a lot of people will say, those people that have never shot it, and I'll be honest, I mean, I've never owned a full automatic, but I have shot this gun years ago in full auto as a rental at a range. And I can tell you that, yes, the bolt is big, and yes, there is a lot of mass moving back and forth. So on full auto, in your bigger caliber, 45, things like that, it is going to be noticeably heavier than a 9mm, or like, say you would in an MP5, because it has that big mass of a bolt slamming around. But for me and you and anybody else watching this video, more than likely, you're shooting this semi-auto. So hitting those, just planking at whatever distance you're doing, bang, 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 that mass moving around is not going to jump you all around because you're not shooting full auto. I do want to touch on Wade and Omega. I'll post below a write-up that he sent me over, just a little bit of information about him and his company. One of my main questions was, why was this named the Omega Gideon Shadow, the Gideon Shadow? It just seemed like, you know, out of all the names you could name something, Gideon Shadow, where did that come from? That had to have a meaning for something. Where did it come from? Originally, this was supposed to be called the MCS, or multi-caliber system, because one of, I think, the coolest features about this is it's easily swappable between 9mm 40, which is what this is, and 45 with just a drop of a pin. So that innovation there on this platform was supposed to be the MCS. So down below you'll see where the meaning of this firearm came from, Gideon Shadow, and how it got to be where it is today. Yo, Zach, you seeing this? Jeez, man. Zach, you don't know nothing about that. No more spending thousands of dollars trying to get a USC to look like a UMP when it's still not a UMP after it's converted. Some of the things are just, they don't match up right. The whole rear section has to be redone, and sometimes you'll see like a big screw here, or if they can graft it or whatever it is, it's still not a UMP. It's close. People do a damn good job converting them. But what I'm saying is, why spend a couple $1,000s on a USC. Then on top of that, spend another couple $1,000s, depending on doing the conversion to make it look like a UMP, when all you need to do is one, buy a parts kit, buy a German parts kit. I paid $900. I got it for a steal. I got it at a gun show. The lady didn't know what she had. She didn't know the prices were going up because these things hit the market and everybody wanted them. So now if you go into places like HK Parts, you can get a parts kit, but it's like $1,700, which is, in this market now, it's a fair price. But what are you going to do? Either get yourself a parts kit, or what's also nice is you can get a fully built Gideon Shadow in pistol form from them. So you can spend $1,700, $1,800 with a brace, might be a little more, maybe close to $2,000, depending on what you do. If you want German parts, if you want US made parts. Why spend $4,000 when you can spend half that? This is the closest thing, the best thing you are gonna get if you're looking for a UMP. Hands down, it is what it is. Now look, I can't do it here because, installing parts on YouTube is frowned upon these days, but all you gotta do, pop your pin, open up your stock, take this down, remove your bolt, slides off. It's like 3 pieces. Your bolt slides out. You take out your recoil spring, you put it in your 45 ACP bolt, you put the bolt back in, you hook up your lower, you take your barrel out, you put your new 45 ACP barrel in, install the barrel pin to lock it back into place, insert your 45 mag, and now you got yourself a UMP 45. You want it at 9mm? No problem. Take out your 45 bolt. Take out your recoil spring. Get yourself your 9mm bolt. Put that in. Put your recoil spring back in. Take this out. Put in your 9mm barrel. Drop it in. Put your pin back in place. Put your 9mm mag in. You got yourself a 9mm UMP. Quick disclaimer, I don't like this in a 9mm because this curved magazine does not give the UMP the iconic look. The iconic look for me, in my eyes, and I think most people's eyes, is the straight mag. So, straight mag 40 or 45, that's a UMP. Now, it's made in 9mm, people shoot in 9mm. I just don't think this has the same look. This doesn't have the same look as the straight mag. But the options are there. Now, you can have three rifles or pistols, 9mm, 40, and 45, and all you gotta do is buy the bolt, barrel, and mag. You can't get better than that. I mean, Zach, are you hearing this right now? How are you gonna do better than that? You can't. You just can't. This is the only way to go. HK Parts, for anything HK related, is the only way to do it. Omega, for UMP build, or the UMP Gideon Shadow receivers, they'll do the work for you. You got a parts kit, send it out, or tell them you want German parts, tell them you want American parts, buy them yourself, see if they have them in stock, and they'll build you one. And there it is. This is it, guys. I mean, I just don't know how you can beat it. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of Gunbox Therapy. Thanks for tuning in. Next episode is going to be us at the range shooting this bad boy, and I tell you what, I cannot wait to show you what it can do. Zach, I can't even believe this. How do you do that? How can you make something like that?